All right, there we go. So I was asked to record the meeting last week. You're not going to be shown. It's only going to be me on the screen. So just begin a rhythmic, purposeful breath by breathing into the count of 1, 2, 3, hold, exhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, hold. Continue on your own. We call this the box breath. Visualizing a box as you inhale up, holding at the top, exhaling down, holding at the bottom, and then continuing. Find the rhythm that works for you, that you're not struggling, that your breath is smooth, that your mind is patient. Wrapping your mind around the technique. Take one more full round. The next time you're exhaling, just breathe naturally. It's coming into that feeling of exquisite stillness, whether you're lying down or sitting up. Some people even find they could stand up and be still. And just begin to become aware of the self that you identify with today. Who are you? Maybe you can silently repeat your name a couple times. What are some of the things you identify with yourself? Is it your beautiful hair? Is it the shape of your body? Is it the things you accomplish? Is it how many things you get done in a day? How do you measure your self-worth? Just explore that for a moment. How does it feel when you don't measure up to those qualities that you attribute to your self-worth or your sense of who you are? And then begin to let go of all of that as much as possible. Remind yourself you're perfect as you are right now. And begin to go into your mind's eye. Could be memory or a dream of when you felt most authentic. It's a feeling that maybe a place or a situation will allow this feeling of authenticity to arise. Where do all your guards and masks fall off? In what kind of setting? Let's begin to see if you can find yourself there. And take note of what you're doing, who's around you, the look on your face. And then and once that becomes clear enough, go inside to the feeling. Do you feel plugged in and connected? Can you be present and at home? Do you feel, can you begin to sense an expansion, possibility? Can you glimpse that awareness of your eternal self? The self that's not attached to appearance or age, or what you do or what you can accomplish. or expectations of others. When we stop and become still enough for vivekya to arise, the discriminating mind, we can begin to see through the veil of egoism, that the story, the narrative that says it's all about me begins to fall away. When our mind becomes calm, like the surface of a lake, we can begin to look inside and see a true reflection of who we really are, instead of a distorted view when the lake is turbulent. Just begin to just rest with yourself in that authentic space. And anytime the narrative begins to come in that tells you you should be doing something different, this is not how it should be, then recognize that you're just falsely attaching yourself to this created vision of yourself. And this is who you are right now. You might begin to understand that some of these judgments are really not you, but they're other voices, other experience that have come in and become part of your narrative. There's a conglomeration of life's experiences that help to create this false self. In yoga, we call them samskaras. A lot of times they're picked up in childhood, influences from culture, family, that help us to tuck away parts of our authentic self, creating shame. And in stillness, when we can dive into that authentic self, we can begin to let some of those go. Those ideas and judgments that no longer serve the person you are now. And in that clarity, we begin to trust. We can lay down that inner dialogue and surrender to the ever-changing flow. To the idea that we can let go and be carried, following our authentic self wherever she may lead us. Another way to explore this idea is think about a time when you might have had a kind of wild or out of the box idea that came from somewhere, but then received judgment from your inner self or from those around you. How influenced you were. Did you put the idea aside? Did you go through with it? Did you explore it deeper? Did you tuck it away? Sometimes the most important things come from that inner guidance. So a connection to that eternal self helps to cultivate the trust that we have by showing up, by studying the self and where we've picked up this narrative. We can then work on surrendering to that which is bigger than ourselves, that eternal connection we have with spirit, universe, God, whatever you whatever you choose to call that higher power, that we can trust this authentic self. We're being led, we're co-creating. So at this point here, if you'd like to find a lying down position, you can just allow this experience to integrate for the next 2-3 minutes, letting go completely of any effort. You could, if you're in a chair, you can let yourself kind of relax back in your chair. And you can just remind yourself of what the sutras tell us. Hayam dukam anagatam. We can release and let go of pain when we catch it at the root, when we're aware of where this pain, this suffering is coming from. We have the ability to let it go. Let yourself completely relax, feeling the peace and serenity that comes from tapping in, from cultivating that relationship with yourself. And remember, it's perfectly appropriate and wonderful to have a relationship with the changing parts of yourself. As long as you don't, as long as you also continue to cultivate the relationship with your inner self, the self that doesn't change. Yoga means to yoke, to connect. It's to connect all parts of yourself.